How's it going today, folks? Today, we're going to spend a little time talking about a little bit more about FOMO and specifically about Kickstarter TCGs. So right now, I am holding in my hand a screenshot that I don't think I'm going to share, but it's just crazy to think about. It is about a certain TCG that I'm not going to name, but if you guys really want to know, you guys can probably figure it out, that went live last night, and in 10 minutes, it had over $600,000. I don't like that. I think that there's too much being delved into the craziness of the Kickstarter market. I know that I said this is going to be the Kickstarter year, and I still believe it is going to be that year, but I just think that the fear of missing out on the next great TCG is a lot. And for this game in particular, I just don't. I mean, for me, one, the reason I personally didn't back it was it seemed kind of expensive. Well, kind of really expensive. And two, I just didn't see the gameplay aspect of it that was really that appealing to me. And so I chose not to back it. Not that I don't think I would have had an opportunity to, because it went quick. It went live, and like I said, 10 minutes later, it was basically gone. And for the record, I am not talking about the MetaZoo video or the MetaZoo cards, even though I also don't necessarily agree with that. And we talked about that in the other video. But anyways, this particular card game, I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't do well, but it just didn't seem like it was for me. But anyways, I want to get back to mostly about the FOMO. The FOMO is fear of missing out, and I just want to say that it's okay if something doesn't go through. It's okay if you get this great opportunity and it doesn't work out. And it's just, I mean, yeah, you only live once, but there's other things in your life that you can focus on. And I think that I've kind of gone away from that a little bit recently, and I apologize for that. So I just want to say that for the FOMO part of it, there are going to be great investment opportunity this year. I personally believe it, and I'm just a guy in a basement. Yeah, you know. And I'm not a financial advisor, but I do think that there are going to be a lot of opportunities this year. That's how I should say it. But I just, for the price point, for the opportunity, and just, I mean, I can understand if it was like a slight incline and went like maybe over a day, but this went like bonkers just in 10 minutes. Like almost everything is sold out, and I don't know, it's just too much for me personally. Oh, excuse me. But overall, I think that in the card game market that we're going to see a lot of this year, and you know, that's good and that's bad. Honestly, when we think about the card game market and how FOMO relates to it, they are definitely intertwined very tightly. We see this in Magic, we see this in Pokemon, we see this, I don't know if we see this in Yu-Gi-Oh, but we probably do. People, especially with new Magic, I would say, people are like, okay, well, I gotta have everything new, because if it spikes, then the running costs of going into a new product and having like, oh, this did succeed or this didn't succeed, is so different, because if this certain set doesn't succeed, then that's fine, you missed out. But if it does succeed, well, then you're like, well, what did I do? Like, how did I mess up on this great opportunity? We got a video coming up maybe in the next couple weeks specifically about how I believe in going in on a certain product, and I believe that there is something to be said about kind of sticking your heart into a product. But anyways, we'll go more about that later, like I said. I honestly think that FOMO in this specific situation is too much. And I do believe that you can have too much FOMO. I do think that there are a lot of things that kind of contributed to this. Like, I mean, obviously MetaZoo is probably the number one catalyst to the Kickstarter sensation. I would say Nostalgics is probably another big one that kind of is contributing. And I'm not saying Nostalgic is a bad one, because like I said, I did back that one. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of momentum going up in these Kickstarters. And like we said, historically, not very many of them are going to succeed. And so that's why this is so scary, because a lot of people are going to buy into all this stuff, try to flip it, and then it's going to tank. So you're either going to buy into this and it's going to go to the moon, and then it's going to continue to go to the moon because all these super rare, ultra fancy, etched, cold foil craziness, full art cards, sample and everything, are going to be either really rare. And I think that there are a lot of companies that are doing that right, but I feel like there's a lot of companies that are abusing this. And I feel like that's kind of where my problem lies, is that a lot of companies are just abusing this, going to get a quick money, and that's all they're after. I think there are really some companies right now that are doing that and that are taking advantage. And I mean, that's just the world that we live in, unfortunately. But honestly, I do think there are a couple of really good card games out there that are going to do well. We've talked about a couple of them on the channel already. So if you haven't, go check out my Kickstarter video or the D-Spirits video. Shout out D-Spirits. But I do think that there are a good amount of good games out there. I just personally didn't think that this was an opportunity for me, and so I chose to back away from it. Overall, I think that FOMO has its place, but not in this situation. So, yeah, I think that's it for today, and see you in the future.